What's up, flowers, and welcome to Jaguar Voices. First of all, I would like to say, after countless votes and us staring at our screens all night, Joe Biden is officially the projected winner of the presidential election, with Kamala Harris making history as the first female Black and Asian American president-elect. I would like to thank Pennsylvania personally for making Trump, though, a massive tantrum on Twitter like a 2-year-old child. Anyways, let's talk about what else happened throughout the first quarter. Well, we were introduced to a lot of new things like adjusting to virtual learning. We had Zoom classes every day, and that did include a lot of technical issues, but we pulled through. Let's recap a little bit more of what we went through. This quarter introduced the beginning of clubs and virtual fall sports. We had back to school night.
You had an opportunity to experience the challenges that are sometimes offered in our classrooms.
Homecoming court. Spirit Week, where everyone got to show off their school spirits and class colors. And other things outside of our screens were justice for Breonna Taylor and the Black Lives Matter movement, death of Corey Freeman, a Flowers alumni, COVID-19 reaching high numbers, End SCARS movement in Nigeria. It's been crazy this last few months, and we know there's so much more to come.
Hey Jaden.
Hey Mom.
So I took a look at your report card, and I just want to say how proud I am of you because you did really well. You're welcome. So I guess my question to you is, with everything going on in this pandemic, how were you able to be so successful?
That was easy. I was just always checking school minds, that's how I know about my grades, and I was always talking to my teachers. If I didn't understand something, I always would email them. I would always try to ask them questions to help me understand the assignment or the concept we're on, right? And I was also in a lot of after-school programs. This is a tough time, so you're not able to talk to people, but if you're in after-school programs, you can at least try to socialize. And in those programs, I had a fellow student in Jaguar Voices, Daphne, who gave me a couple tips that also really helped me. First tip was basically check Google Classroom. It has a calendar. You can check all your assignments. You know when it's due. When I email teachers, use proper etiquette. Don't just use incorrect grammar and stuff like that. Really make your email make sense so the teachers can really understand, so you can get more help.
Yeah.
And really, also, what it all boils down to is just study for as long as you can. Really, like 30, 45 minutes, and you really can help you get your grades better. I know this is really hard, so just take the time that you really don't have socializing into studying, and that's how you get better grades.
Hello everyone. So this is just going to be a quick rundown of some of the things happening in second quarter. First, we have the Write-A-Book competition, which is countywide and open to all of you as high schoolers. There are many different categories for your work to fall under, and Flowers has been placing well consistently for years. This year, you can turn in your Write-A-Book submissions using Book Creator through Clever. Don't let your work go unnoticed. The deadline is December 14th, 2020. Our librarian, Ms. Goff, has sent out a lot of information through our PGCPS emails, so don't be afraid to reach out for assistance. For support and pure fun, you may also be interested in the Young Writers Club or a school's book club, which Ms. Goff also sponsors and will continue to through the second quarter. Watch out for virtual winter sports, which will start up December 6th. Later in January, our guidance staff is projected to launch an anti-bullying initiative. Also in January, it's likely that seniors will take their senior photos. We would like to congratulate the PTSA They had success in advocating for Flowers to get a new heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, which is set to be started next summer. To better support our students this quarter, Pure Forward is running a virtual career center. It will be on Zoom every Tuesday and Thursday from 11 to 12 p.m. It's a great chance for seniors to get help with FAFSA, fee waivers, learning how to use Naviance, revising college essays, career advice, and the college application process as a whole. Even if you are not in 12th grade, you may find this helpful, so tune in on Zoom. And that is a quick overview of some of the things happening in the second quarter. We wish you success over the next 9 weeks.
Hey Jaguars, my name is Favor, and I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of how Wednesdays are going to look like starting from this week at Flowers. I'm here to introduce to you an all-new experience called Jaguar Wednesdays. Now, you may be wondering what that is. Well, Jaguar Wednesdays will compose of 30 minutes of classes in which the focus will be on attendance and our vocabulary initiative. 3 separate Jaguar hours, or JAG hours, will be available, where students can attend their teachers' tutoring or office hours, go to different social clubs and activities, virtually of course, or take part in the work of honor societies. Teachers will have the opportunity to choose one of the 3 Jaguar hours as a planning period. One thing I do want you to remember is that this is not a day off. We are still a mecca of excellence and are expected to attend and participate like we normally would. Okay, so we know what it is, but how does it work? Let me break it down to you in 3 easy steps. Step 1. Your teachers will list off a number of available activities for you to partake in, along with their description and whether or not it is open for all or just a group of certain students. Step 2. You will now decide based on your needs what you want. And step 3. You will then receive a Zoom access link to participate. Once you have received that link, you are all ready to go. Your teacher may request that you attend remediation if you are in danger of failing your classes. Here is the schedule that we are going to use. Starting at 7:45 a.m. and ending at 8:15 a.m., we have period 1. Starting at 8:20 a.m. and ending at 8:50 a.m., we have period 2. Here comes our first JAG hour, starting at 9 a.m. and ending at 9:50 a.m. We then have our lunch that starts at 10 a.m. and ends at 11:15 a.m. Starting at 11:15 a.m. and ending at 11:45 a.m. is our period 3. Period 4 starts at 11:50 a.m. and ends at 12:20 p.m. We now have our last 2 JAG hours. JAG hour 2 starts at 12:20 p.m. and ends at 1:10 p.m. And lastly, JAG hour 3 starts at 1:10 p.m. and ends at 2 p.m. I hope that we all know what Jaguar Wednesday is by now and what is expected of us as students at Flowers. Thank you.
Now that the first quarter is over, let's reflect on what we can do to make second quarter an even better success. One senior at Flowers, Nazarene, definitely has her vision set on this. She says that the first quarter was like a trial run for her since she was new to the school. Having a very structured day was very important. She would even go on runs before she logged into Zoom just to wake herself up. Engagement and communication with the school community is also very important. Joining a club, speaking up in class, or emailing your teachers is a great way to get to know the people who you would have been surrounded with. Planning ahead is essential to Nazarene's success. Setting alarms and setting aside time to do your schoolwork is very important. She says never to wait until the last minute to do anything. It's stressful and it'll most likely lessen the quality of your work. I agree with everything Nazarene's saying here. Something that really helped me throughout all of high school is keeping a daily journal and tracking what all of my tasks should be. Once you start, it becomes second nature and you just check to make sure you're not missing anything, and you can always decorate it to make it like your own space. I think it's also important that you guys reach out and make connections, especially if you are a new student, like a 9th grader or even a transfer from another school. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and if you feel like you're not getting the information you need, whether that be a concept in class or even a graduation requirement, always remain an advocate for yourself. We hope that everyone has a fantastic second quarter and strives to do better.
As you all know, the reason why we are not presently in the building and why classes have been online since March. Students have continued distant learning throughout the end of first quarter, but with plans set, most PGCPS families are not yet ready to return to school. The case rate and number of hospitalized coronavirus patients are still climbing. As of right now, the state approaches 150,000 cases of the virus. Maryland Governor Hogan said Thursday, November 5th, we're probably at the worst point we've ever been. Officials urge Marylanders to stick to the basics of mask wearing, hand washing, and physical distance to prevent the spread of the virus. And with all these related hospitalizations and new cases of the virus, there are high raises for concern. Officials said 1,198 new cases of the virus were confirmed in Maryland Thursday, on the heels of 1,000 cases reported Wednesday. 1,000 cases a day. And in the past week, Hogan said coronavirus cases in Maryland had increased by 22%. Many of those who were infected recently reported attending family gatherings or house parties based on contact tracking investigations. With cases as high as they have ever been, Prince George's County Public Schools has the latest information on reopening plans. In December, if it's safe, which we all know it's not, PGCPS will offer families the options to continue distant learning or begin hybrid instructions for the remainder of the school year. In February, depending on the conditions, PGCPS will implement a hybrid staggered schedule with 2 days of in-person instructions and 3 days of distant learning. Don't worry, if you feel uncomfortable going back to school, full-time distant learning can continue for those students who opt out.
Hi, my name is Therese Nage, and I'll be talking about going back to school in February. Going back to school is something we all kind of look forward to. Most students recognize that distance learning has taken a hit to all of us, our grades, our learning, our socialization, our everything, and are eager to return to traditional learning methods where more students thrive and are able to remain engaged. School, for most of us, is a huge part of our lives. It's the structure of the first 18 years of your lives. And so this kind of change is really hitting children and teenagers really hard because we weren't ready for this. And we just more engaged when we actually have to get up and go to school, and we actually sit in desks and we're next to each other and we can interact with each other and the teacher. And at first, we were only expecting to have to wait out 2 weeks. Remember back in March when we were expecting to be back in school, late March, early April? And then they closed it down, and it was 2 months. Expecting to be back May. Closed down again. And we're like, all right, we're going to wait, go back to school 2020, 2021 school year. And now here we are. It is 8 months since school closed down due to COVID. 8 months without anything that a majority of us call normal. Even kids who were homeschooled before, they would still go out, participate in activities, maybe go volunteer. They would still go out with friends. They would still go out. They would leave the house. And it's been 8 months without any of that for any of us. And school boards and administrations have just been stretched so thin, having to deal with something that they haven't even had to consider before. And we're all just overwhelmed and stressed. And it has just been the definition of hectic. And people cannot wait for the breath of fresh air that is returning to normal. However, as February nears, students are starting to doubt the possibility of reopening so soon. Cases have spiked. It's not much of a stretch to say that there's going to be another wave. People are expecting that second wave. Vaccine still isn't out for everyone. And admittedly, thousands of students plus the staff in one building 5 days a week is a breeding ground for coronavirus. So let's say with some sort of wave of your wand, we managed to reopen in, 3 months from now? It's definitely not going to look like what we've all grown accustomed to as school. They're going to have to take precautions, but then what would those precautions be? Will we wear masks? Would they enforce 6 feet apart? Would they do temperature checks? Would we go to school on different days of the week? Would there be days when no one goes to school? It's gonna be really weird because, again, this system would be hit with something that it has never had to deal with before. And because of that, a lot of people, they don't even want to go back to school in February. A lot of people are just accepting this year is down the drain and They're waiting until next year to go back. And I get it. It's safer. It's so much safer. Because as many precautions as the school and boards could take, there's always going to be that one kid, that one family, that one person that refuses to follow. And that one person is enough to do damage.
Now, the people that were just mentioned are from the student-run club Jaguar Voices. In Jaguar Voices, you can share a combination of articles, drawings, paintings, pictures, poems, videos, etc. We meet every Wednesdays at 3 p.m. and our meetings usually goes on for about 2 hours. If you feel interested in joining, you can email us at chfsnews@pgcps.org and we'll send you an invitation to our Google Classroom. We also want to know your views and opinions about schools reopening. So a Google form will be sent out later today where you can do just that. But for now, that's it for us. Thank you for listening and have a great day.